Welcome to Holy Heart Nutrition, where we talk about healing your heart, mind, body, and soul with a focus on holistic nutrition and spiritual support. I'm your host, Susan Crusaris. And we're live. Hey guys. Wanted to talk today about the 5 tenets of nutritional therapy. What are they? How do they pertain to our health? And why am I so passionate about this? So, the 5 tenets of nutritional therapy, when we approach good health, they're very simple physiological needs that the body has to have in order to thrive. One is proper digestion. When our digestion is off, our immunity suffers, our ability to absorb nutrients suffers. From there, a whole cascade of events can happen. So, digestion is a huge foundational piece that we work to improve when we work together. Next is blood sugar regulation, which really goes hand in hand with digestion. If you are constantly spiking your blood sugar, that's going to feed inflammation. And inflammation is the big bad wolf that causes chronic disease. So we definitely want the body to stay within that tight range of blood sugar fluctuations that it was designed to stay in. Next, we have proper hydration, and our hydration levels are honestly, it's amazing how many of us are chronically dehydrated. And it's very easy, myself included, if I don't make a conscious effort to drink my water throughout the day, it's very easy to all of a sudden feel lethargic, joint pain, back pain, even irritability, mental issues when you're dehydrated, chronic constipation. It's just not a good place to be in. And it's such an easy win that we can work at. So we definitely work to optimize hydration to improve health as well. Next, we have mineral balance. Mineral balance really is another key piece because these minerals are kind of the spark plugs of our body. If we don't have the proper intake of sodium and potassium, our cells don't get hydrated. That also affects blood sugar. We need molybdenum to have proper regulation of our blood sugar. Chromium is another important mineral that helps regulate blood sugar. And so there are a lot of examples of minerals that balance each other. We need a certain ratio of this when we have that in order for our bodies to thrive. And the cool thing is that your body will show certain symptoms or signs that it needs certain nutrients. When you take my very comprehensive wellness questionnaire, that will often point to the symptoms that are in greatest need. Another mineral that most people are usually deficient in is vitamin D. I would say D, zinc, magnesium, and B vitamins. Those are my top most recommended vitamins that I give my clients, and myself included. Those are the ones that I find make the biggest difference as far as daily function goes. Vitamin D and zinc are so important for immune function and also symptoms of depression. So you need vitamins in order to combat that brain fog and support better, clearer thinking. There's lots of ways that we can balance minerals. Next, we have fatty acid balance, which is my favorite. See, it's my favorite because fat's gotten a bad rap in the last 40 years. It was the big bad wolf in the 80s that some idiot lobbyists took control of, and they cherry picked data. It was just bad studies, bad science, horrible science in order to promote billion-dollar industries. Here's what you need to know. Fat doesn't make you fat. It really doesn't. And yes, there are going to be a lot of people that attack me in the comments and say, well, Susan, I lost a lot of fat by cutting my fat. And I get it. Okay, I get it. But I'm here to tell you that your cells need fat. They're made of a bilipid phospholipid layer. Your cells need fat for their structure. You need fat in order to create hormones. And for the people who are young and have those rock hard bodies that say, I cut fat in order to get skinny, I'd like to check in with you in 10 years and see how your hormones are, because you're going to need to bring those fats back into your life. I always recommend full fat. Now, can we have too much of a good thing? Of course. I'm not saying to overdo it with fat, but we were meant to thrive and not worry about fatty things. I'll tell you what is the bad fat: the trans fat, the fake fat, the margarines, the lab produced fats. Those are Skull and crossbones, full stop. What you want to do is encourage healthy fats from things like nuts, seeds, salmon, avocados, coconut, yogurt. Those are the proper fats. If you think about the way our ancestors ate, they ate high fat. They ate meat, and the meat may have been a lot leaner, but still. And I'm not talking about commercialized meat. I'm talking about your local farmer, regenerative farm meat. That is the best nutrient profile you can possibly ingest. Don't worry about the fat there. If you're getting meat from an animal that has pecked at the grass or eaten the grass and the grubs in it, and they are living their best life in that pasture, you are going to be living your best life eating that animal. Those are, in a nutshell, the 5 tenets of good health. When we optimize proper digestion, hydration, fatty acid balance, mineral balance, and blood sugar balance, we are going to see good health. It will inevitably follow. Once I started supporting these systems in my body, I really started to see a change in my sleeping. I started sleeping better. I started losing weight again. My body felt like it was getting what it needed, so it physically felt safe to stop hanging on to that stubborn weight. I was optimizing hydration, so my joint pains went away. My ankles weren't popping every time I was going up and down the staircase. I found that I had more stamina. When I started optimizing my digestion, my immunity improved, and I was able to actually absorb what I was eating. So once I got into all that, I really started seeing a turnaround in my health. And I was so excited about that. And that's exactly why I love what I do. I love sharing it with people. I love talking about it. And so this is just a little taste of the body systems that a nutritional therapy practitioner helps you support and improve. There are other ancillary ones that we also go into that are just as important: sleep, stress, and movement. Those are another 3 that are kind of in conjunction with the top 5. We underestimate how important dealing with stress actually is in our life. It's something that I never gave credence to, and it's how I developed a chronic condition of Hashimoto's thyroiditis. So believe me when I tell you that going through stress is not just a siloed event in your life. It is something that is going to affect your health if you don't take proactive steps to support your health. If you're eating like crap, or you're not eating at all, you're not sleeping, you're not drinking enough water, you're not having electrolytes, you're not taking the proper vitamins, honey, I hate to tell you, but things are not going to be good for you if you keep it up. And it's not just a stressful event of losing someone to death. It could be going through a divorce. It could be losing a job, changing a job. Maybe you've moved. Maybe you're dealing with a toxic friend in your life, or a toxic family member that you can't get out of helping to take care of. All things that I am very familiar with, by the way. It's very necessary to support your health when you're dealing with things like these, because they do affect your health. You just don't understand how it is affecting your health. But this constant loop of stress that we're under, chronic stress, will lead to chronic inflammation. It just will. So you have to deal with the stress. I'm not saying that we are going to be able to wave a magic wand and get rid of all your stress. But one of my favorite things that when working with clients that I would hear over and over again was, I check in with them, how's your stress level? And they would say, you know what? My stress is still the same, but I just feel like I'm better able to handle it, if that makes sense. And I'm like, yes, that is the next best thing. And that's what I want for you, to be able to handle your stress, because our bodies were made to handle stress. We have to be able to close that loop. So we deal with our stress, we deal with our sleep. A lot of people have sleeping problems, insomnia, unexplained anxiousness that comes at night. Maybe they fall asleep well, but they can't stay asleep. There are a lot of ways that sleep can be an issue for people. So we definitely work to optimize sleep as well. A lot of times when you're actually getting those nutrients and your body's absorbing instead of just garbage in, garbage out, you will find that your sleep does improve. So that's very exciting news. And movement is a big piece of this. movement can often help us sleep better. Go back to when we were kids. If you have children of your own, you know that the sleeping baby is an active one during the day. You tire them out so that they sleep well at night. If you are out and about, if you're getting your eyes on the sun when you wake up, try and get a walk midday, maybe even watch the sunset at night. That's definitely my favorite, is a sunset. Your brain understands that, okay, time to create some melatonin. We're going to sleep. The sun is going down. Likewise, in the morning when it wakes up, and if you can look outside and look at the sun rising, that will help your brain understand, okay, time to wake up, and I'm going to make melatonin later today for when it's time for bed. You can reset your own physiological clock just by being in circadian rhythm with the earth. It's pretty wild, but it's awesome. And if you think about it, it makes total sense, right? If you go camping, have you noticed that you sleep better when you're camping? I'm not a big camper, okay? I was raised in my dad, he had this RV that was, outside of my mom, the love of his life, okay? And it was so embarrassing that 8 of us would pile into this 28-foot camper and we would go camping. And yes, we slept in a camper. It's not like I actually roughed it in a tent, but when you have to shower at a state park and it's just cold water and you have to go to the bathroom in an outhouse, you might as well be in a tent. I always told my dad that, us growing up camping turned me into a hotel gal. But anyway, I digress. The point is, even though I hated it growing up, I slept so great because we would wake up earlier. I mean, you're in this camper and you can't help but wake up earlier than the 11 a.m. that I was used to as a kid. The point is, your cortisol levels can be regulated just by waking up and looking at the sun, and to regulate your sleep. Ground yourself. It's not a woo-woo idea to put your bare feet in grass. It is a wonderful way that your body can physiologically reset itself. We also work on movement. The more we move, the better our body feels. That can certainly support weight loss. We look at how often are you moving? Are you moving enough? Maybe you're moving too much. Maybe we're in perimenopause to the menopause stage in our life, and we're working out, we're eating well, and we're gaining weight. What's happening? Our bodies are in a stress mode. And so it's going to hang on to that stubborn weight. My recommendation, when you're doing all the things, we're going to actually work out less. We're going to look at what you're eating. Are you really hitting your macros? Are you having enough protein? I'd say 8 out of 10 of us are not. So again, making sure that we are giving our body the time to rest so that we can physiologically repair. And that alone sometimes helps people unlock that stubborn weight that they're locked into, because their body is perceiving a threat of some sort. You're not giving me enough protein. That's a threat. You are exercising too much and I can't repair. That's a threat. We're not sleeping well. That's a threat. That movement is a key piece, but we look at, are we doing too much? Are we doing too little? Let's try and optimize that. So if you have any questions, I would love to hear them in the comments. You can work with me by going to www.holyheartnutrition.com, and that is WHOLLY, Holy Heart Nutrition. I am going to do a piece on each of these more in depth, so hopefully clarify any general questions you may have. Until next time, I will talk to you later. Thanks for stopping by.